Welcome back, friends, to LittleLab. To LittleLab at Home with the Museum of Life and Science. As always, we hope that you all will help lead our program with your questions and thoughts and ideas in our moderated chat box. I'm really excited because I have my friend Caroline with me today. She's a Catalyst volunteer with the lab. I'm really excited to have her here because she's going to be doing this experiment with us. So I'm really excited to get started with this one. It's called Painting with Nature, and it's a little bit different than painting that I've done in the past. So I wanted to ask all of you, do you ever do any painting? Do you ever do painting at home or school or anything? What about you, Caroline?
I love painting. I don't know about everyone else, but there's so many different things you can draw, be a tree, a house, animals you love. It's really, really wonderful.
There's so many different subjects to paint. If you all have painted before, what things do you usually need in order to paint? What do you think? Because I know that when I think about painting, I usually think about using a paintbrush. I just have one paintbrush. That's a beautiful looking paintbrush, Caroline. Oh, we have a friend saying paintbrush, paper, paint. Oh, a paint apron. You know, maybe I should have an apron.
Same here.
Oh, and some of us do some painting for craft projects. That's awesome. So you guys have done painting before. We know that very, very true. We definitely need some paint in order to do painting.
Absolutely.
We are going to do painting. We may use a brush. We may be using some paper, but we're going to be using something a little different. Instead of paint, we're going to use natural materials. So what do I mean, Caroline, when I say natural materials? What do you think?
What comes to mind for me is something that you might find outside rather than in a store. So maybe something like grass or a leaf or a berry.
So all of these different things that we can find around us. It can also be edible things from our kitchen. I know that I've gathered a bunch of natural materials. If any of you have gathered natural materials, I would love to hear about what you have. Because these natural materials are going to be our paint. What kind of stuff did you bring, Caroline?
Ooh, I brought, among other things, grass, a bit of an avocado, some exciting, you can see the inside, and some blueberries.
That is fantastic. It looks like a lot of our friends have got flowers. We have some leaves, berries. Oh, kale, interesting. Sunflowers. Ooh, different kinds of flowers. I am so excited to see what we have. Carrots.
Carrots, very smart.
Oh, orange pepper, a camellia, a nandina berry, beets. We have marigold, rosemary. You all have brought such amazing stuff. I'll show you a little bit of what I have. Oh, some basil as well. I have some little slices of orange. I've got some really nice little berries. These are from right outside the butterfly house. I was able to borrow some of their berries here. We also have by the butterfly house a little pomegranate tree, so I was able to grab a few little pomegranates. And I also have a very overripe fig, so we'll see how that goes. And I've got a few little leaves. That's wonderful. So what do all of these things have in common? I mean, there's lots of things we could say, like they're all plants, they're all, maybe they're all of a size that fit on our table, so we can classify them by size. But what I notice about them are their colors. So what kind of colors do you see when you're looking at your natural materials? I'm going to switch to my experiment cam so that you can see my materials too. So just in case you're not doing the experiment along with us and you want to do it later, you can tell me maybe what kind of colors you see in my materials. What do you think, Caroline? What colors do you see?
Well, definitely what's coming out happened to be green and orange, really bright there, and it's really bright and colorful. There might be some red as well. Yep, right with the pomegranate. Even a little bit of blue or almost like a black with the berries.
These are a really dark bluish color. Yeah, exactly. And so parents, right, color recognition is always a really popular one. It's a great skill to be able to not only recognize color, but also just connecting descriptors, descriptive words with physical objects. So we have described some of the colors that we see here. I have some friends in the chat who are also describing that they see some orange, some green. Now we want to talk about using all of these different colors as paint. So I'm going to go back to my face cam really quickly because we're going to get started here in just a second, but we want to talk about what exactly we're doing. So we have our natural materials that are very colorful and beautiful, but we have to get the color out. Oh, looks like Athena also sees some green and red and orange. Perfect. So how are we going to get the color out of here? One thing that I think we're going to try this time is we're going to try using force to get the color from a natural material to a piece of paper or a piece of paper towel. Now we said that you could use a couple things to use force to get some of this color out. You could use a soft kind of rubber mallet like I'm going to use. Caroline, what were you going to use?
Well, I don't happen to have a mallet, but I do have a soup can. So I was thinking about maybe rolling to get pressure on it.
That's perfect. And
Pressing
it
it
seems like
against
you
the
could also,
table.
it seems like you could also use a rolling pin, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfect. I also have I'm not sure if I'll use it, but I also have a big rock. Um,
Ooh.
so I think this is going to be really interesting. I also had us bring just a little bit of water and a little paintbrush, just in case we get a lot of juice and we want to spread it around a little bit. The water is just for if we want to dip our paintbrush in and spread around some of the beautiful colors that we get out. Sounds like some of us have
Awesome.
a mallet that you're going to use as well. That's perfect. This is a really
Wonderful.
fun exercise because we get to bang stuff. I really like to use kind of my physical strength to create something. So that's something that's really, really fun to do. And there's a creative element as well because we get to kind of put together a picture and then create that picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my experiment cam. Ooh, it sounds like a bunch of us have a mallet. That's perfect.
Ooh, exciting.
I'm going to switch to my experiment cam so that we can get started. So I've got this paper towel, and I'm using a paper towel because it's more absorbent. It will soak in the juice a little bit better, so it will maybe show the color a little better. What about you, Caroline? What do you have?
I also have a paper towel here, and I am going to fold it over as well.
Oh, perfect.
So it can absorb.
I was going to see, yeah, if I could put two on top of each other, but folding it is another great idea. So the first thing that we want to do is to kind of make a little bit of a picture on top of our paper towel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select some of my materials and I'm going to create an image. Now this could be, I could create like a scene or some scenery. I could try and make a face. I could just make something abstract. I think that there's a lot of different things that I can do. But what I'm going to do is we're going to be testing to see if we can get any color out of our materials and onto the paper. As we're putting things down, it's a great science skill to develop if we're thinking about forming a hypothesis. If we're asking our young scientists, if I put this down, what color do you think will come out? So if I put this fig down, right, it's kind of got some different colors. I wonder if it will be green. I wonder if it will be pinkish, reddish, who knows? So I can make a guess. My hypothesis is that it's gonna be light pink. What do you think, Caroline?
Ooh, I think it could be light pink. You never know though, it's pretty liquidy in the center. I wonder, maybe there'll be a little yellow in it too?
That's very true. I would be very excited to find out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down some of these berries and I'm going to get ready to get the color out of them. So I'm putting these on here. So I'm trying the orange and I'm trying the orange peel. I'm interested to see, I'm interested to see if they work the same. Mm-hmm. The best way to figure out what's going to happen is to test it, of course. So I think I want to get ready to test our first round of nature painting.
I will go ahead and join you. And
So what I'm
test
going
with
to do in just So what I'm going to do in just a moment is I'm going to move this over to my banging table, which is right over here. If you're using a mallet, it's always good to go over safety rules such as hands must stay at the far end of the mallet. So here's the hitting part. Hands must be over here. And we also want to make sure that there's no toes near the mallet because of course we don't want to smash our toes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move this over to my hitting table because if I hit it on this table, it would make my camera shake. So I'm going to move mine over. Caroline, you're using your soup can, right?
Yes, I am. So I'll be rolling it just out of sight.
That's wonderful. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a tap. We're worried about it being a little bit loud. We might have a loud tap to start with, but usually the sound is loud enough that it kind of cuts out. So I'm going to get started giving some taps, and you can experiment with what works better, a big tap or a smaller one. But it's best to start with small taps and see how it goes. All right, you ready to get started, Caroline?
Absolutely.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Whoa.
Wow. Oh, it's squishing.
So I'm seeing a lot of color bleeding through. I think you can already see.
Mm-hmm.
You are doing this part of the experiment. Please let me know what kind of cool stuff you are seeing. Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Oh, the fig totally exploded. So
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna do like on a white background so we can see that I got some colors. What colors do you see on my paper, Caroline?
Ooh, I definitely see some yellow and some reddish pink, maybe a little almost orange when they meet.
Oh, that's so interesting. And then my fig didn't really turn the colors I thought. There's a little bit of pale pink, but it's mostly a really pale green. Are you all seeing any colors? What about you, Caroline? Let's see yours.
All right, there's a lot of color on mine. My blueberries kind of exploded. Let's see if I can get it open.
We love an exploded blueberry.
Yes, absolutely. So if I can pull it out, you guys might be able to see a lot. My avocado definitely did some color. What colors do you guys see?
Whoa, I see
How
so
about you?
many colors. Is the avocado the green one?
Yep, so the avocado showing up right here is the green. And I put the blueberries, they're kind of sticking to it because they got so flat. But you'll notice that the inside of the blueberries doesn't really appear to be blue. What color do you guys see?
What do you think, friends? The outside's blue, but that inside's
Yeah.
kind of like yellowish, almost greenish.
Mhm. Absolutely, it is coming out as pretty yellow. There's even little bits of brown seed kind of in there.
Oh,
And definitely it dyed the paper towel very yellowish. And then I have some little red berries from outside. They fell off. They dyed it just a little bit kind of yellowish white, maybe a tiny bit of pink further up, but not as pink as I expected.
wow. So some of our hypotheses, some of our guesses were correct, and some of them were not. We got a different result. And I love when I get things right, and I also love when I get things wrong because it's all data, it's all information, right?
Same here.
So sometimes there's things that don't work. Like I noticed my leaves didn't work. I'll go back to my experiment can so that you can see. You can kind of see that I didn't really get any leaves to stick on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I also thought I would get more from my berries, but I only got a very little bit from my different berries.
Definitely.
But I still found out exactly what happened, and I did that by experimenting. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's see if we have time to do just one more.
Sounds good
Do
to
just
me.
one more here. I'm going to do one here, and I want to fold it over like you did, Caroline, because I think that's a really interesting idea.
It's a fun technique
I'm
or a
gonna
fun way to do things.
I agree. Yeah, trying different stuff is always really fun. So I'm going to try and
Mm-hmm.
take some of my peel and put it like that.
Ooh, I love that idea.
So doing these kinds of arrangements, doing small bits of tearing or plucking petals off is also a great way to build the motor skills of young scientists. So that's always good to have that be part of it. So you're kind of engaged on multiple levels throughout the entire project, and I think that's really fun. I want to see if some of this leaf will go. Okay. So I'm going to try to fold it over.
Perfect.
And then see what happens. This will be our last one for today. I'm going to go ahead and put it over here. And I'm going to use my mallet to hit it. Okay, ready, go. Oh, whoa, whoa.
Ooh.
So can you show me what you got?
All right. Let's see. Mine is not as colorful this time. I don't know about everyone else's. Mine's a little less colorful.
Interesting. But those patterns are great. It sounds like one of our friends who's doing this experiment with us had kind of like a flower, and it like exploded. That's awesome.
That's
so this
so
flower berry
exciting.
exploded.
Wow, how cool.
This looks a little bit like an explosion too. It almost looks like a flower maybe. What do you guys think? A little bit of pink. Maybe those could be the stems.
I would agree.
I'll be really interested to see how it dries too. The cool thing about these is the acidity of the orange might affect the color of the pomegranate. It might, the pink might affect it, so it could change. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to keep experimenting with it. You think this one looks like a flower? Yeah, I agree.
Same here.
Could we see your two beautiful creations again, Caroline, for kind of our
yes
shot here?
Absolutely. We can't, maybe I will highlight this one.
So it sounds like one of our friends was trying with some different berries, so they ended up with red and pink circles. That's really neat. So were they really nice circles? Cool. That's so interesting. I expected my pomegranate seeds not to explode so much. I expected little circles from them. So that is so interesting. I'll go ahead and hold up my two as well.
Okay. Exciting. Oh, beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. Can I look at yours, Caroline?
Yes, absolutely. We have this one here and then our little quieter one. I used more grass in this one.
Interesting. I like that you described it as quieter. I think it's very nice. Even if it's not as colorful, the pattern is so cool. I love the avocado. It made such a bright green.
Definitely. I love the orange in yours. It really got that yellow center.
Thank you. I was very surprised at how light it was, whereas this one is maybe a slightly darker orange. So natural materials around us are full of surprises, and in many cases full of juice, which can be very good to paint with. Now, we didn't use our paint brushes, but you could always continue your experiment at home. You could continue kind of squeezing out juice and use the paintbrush to spread it around. You could always dilute it, get some water on it to spread it out a little more. There's so many different things that you can do. It sounds like a lot of you did an amazing job along with us. I want to thank you all so much for coming to LittleLab. This has been the first LittleLab since our hiatus. Oh, this is a really good addition. We could use mud with the paintbrush. That's a really great point. We could use some clay, some mud, some ochre. You guys have great ideas. I would love to see what yours look like. If you are able even to take pictures of them, you're welcome to share those with us via email. We'll send a post-lab email so that you can respond to those if you want, or if you want to post them on social media. We would love to be able to see those and even post them potentially on our social media. Be sure to at the museum and then tag #LabAtHome if you want to put those on social media so that we can see them. That's so wonderful. My friends, thank you so much for such an awesome time. It's been really wonderful to see you all, or at least hear from you all. Next week will be a lab at home, so that's for slightly older scientists, we say, usually about 5 and up. We're going to be learning about making bioplastics from different foods. And then the week after that, so December 1st, that will be our next Little Lab at Home, where we are going to be investigating different states of water. We're going to be learning about water in winter. So thank you all so, so much again. And thank you, Caroline, for being with me. I look forward to seeing you in the next Little Lab as well.
Thank you guys. I loved being here.
Awesome. Thanks so much, friends. Have a great rest of your day. See you later.